All right, guys, we should be live. Let me just double check. What? Something's not right again. Hold on a second. All right, we are live. Okay. Guys, we've had a, oh, there's Nick. We've had a few technical difficulties. Sorry about that. And we're back. We had to start a whole new hangout. And so, hang on one sec. Let me just, okay, good. Everybody can see us. Sweet. So thanks for your patience, guys. Yeah, we had a couple technical difficulties and had to start the hangout over. And really looking forward to this hangout today. It's somebody asked me if that's rain that you can hear. Well, I shut my window, but yeah, it's been raining here like crazy. We're starting to have floods again in Boulder. It's insane. My ex-husband actually came by this morning to pick up the kids and ended up, him and I were out in the dumping rain digging trenches around the house because stuff was starting to overflow into the window wells in the basement and just crazy stuff. So what's that?
At least you had help.
Well, you know, I've actually been just sitting in gratitude today because, you know, although I went through this crazy divorce and we had like a long, you know, painful road ahead of us in the healing process, and now we're at a point where, you know, our relationship is pretty good, and, you know, because I'm a single mom and I have 2 little kids and I do everything myself, and I mean, he just showed up here this morning and saw that stuff needed to happen, and he just started helping me, and it just made me realize the beautiful thing that comes out of having children with somebody. That relationship is forever, and it doesn't matter the differences that happen along the way. There's a special bond that we'll always have because of that, and the fact that he's bald and he just had like water dripping down his head today. Like he was just soaked to the bone, and it didn't even faze him. He was just like out there for like an hour doing what needed to be done. And so anyway, I'm just really, really grateful. I'm getting all emotional, but I'm just really, really grateful for him right now. And yeah, I hope it stops raining soon because, you know, we had this huge flood here last fall, and we're not completely recovered from that yet, so we're not ready to handle this amount of rain. So hopefully the sun will come out soon. But anyway, to get back to business here, I'm here with a lovely, fabulous, awesome Nicole Cooper, who I'm sure a lot of you know who she is, and just in case you don't, I just want to let you know that Nicole was one of my very first mentors when I first decided to come online and learn internet marketing. And I've always been a fan of hers, and she's taught me a lot of what I know and kind of laid the foundation for me to become an internet marketer, for which I will be forever grateful. And you know, Nicole is, you know, she's an amazing person, and she's an amazing marketer, an incredible leader, and she's just really somebody who I'm proud to call my mentor. I love following in her footsteps and just learning from her, because she's somebody that is very professional about what she does. And one of the reasons that we're having this hangout today is because Nicole just recently did an amazing training in Charlotte, North Carolina at our recent Empower Network event. And I loved this training because one of the first things she said when she got on stage just really struck a chord with me, which was about how people are becoming less and less professional in their marketing, and people are just out there talking about make money fast, fast money, and get rich quick, and like click on this link, and you know, there's no like value anymore. There's just all of this spam going on. And when she started talking about that, it really struck a chord with me. And now I don't know if it's my reticular activating system kicking in because of this conversation, but now it seems like it's even gotten worse in the past couple of weeks since that event. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's just like all this, it just seems like it's a snowball, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. And so I wanted to have this conversation because I know that, you know, Nicole really shed some light on this in her training, and I'm going to let her kind of speak about it to, you know, however, in whatever way she wants to today. But I just really feel like, you know, like for myself, I love marketing on the internet, and I will never compromise my integrity to make a quick buck. That's just not something that I'm willing to do. And I feel like there's so many people that get caught up in this schemy way of marketing that our industry starts to lose credibility. And I personally don't want to be in an industry that's schemy and scammy and anything like that. And so the message today is just really about how you can find your own voice, and you can be a professional marketer, and you can market on the internet, and you can create a six-figure career doing it your way, providing value for the marketplace, and not doing anything schemy, scammy, spammy, or any of that, you know. And so so that's what we want to talk about today, and just kind of shed some light on how to go about doing that in case you're just jumping around from thing to thing trying to make a quick buck and nothing's working for you. So Nicole, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just sitting here, just shaking my head, like, yep, yep, yep. So I'm excited. You know, I share that this is an area that has pissed me off, right? So when we start talking about this topic, I get really excited and animated about it. So I'm excited to be talking about this today, Amy. Thanks
Yeah.
for bringing me out.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here. And I know Nicole is a super, super busy woman. I don't even know how much time she has here today, so I want to completely honor your time, Nicole. And she just jumped off of another coaching call to jump on here with us, and has just been moving and shaking. She said she's been sitting in that chair for like, what did you say, 4 hours, 7 hours? 4 hours straight.
5 hours now. One call for 2 hours and another call for 2 hours, and then, but no, it's all good. This is a beautiful thing about doing what you love, right? It doesn't feel like work. Eat a banana real quick, drink some water.
Yeah. So, so I'm going to just let you take it away. I just want to, one thing I just want to mention, I don't know if anyone follows Nicole on Instagram, but she posted something there a couple days ago that really kind of sums up also what we're going to talk about today, which was, I think you highlighted it in a book you were reading or something, but it said, you know, we are born original, but so many of us die a copy. And anyway, that's part of the message today, is helping you to understand what your voice is and not feel like you have to copy and paste everything that other people are doing, and that's it in your marketing, and how to figure out what resonates with you, and how to get your message out there in a way that really feels good for you, where you can be in integrity and not feel like your family's looking at you funny because you're doing something weird and schemy. So whatever you want to say about this, Nicole, I know you have a lot to say about it, so I'll just let you take it in whatever direction you want to here.
Well, you know, it's funny. I've been launching and gearing up for my podcast. I've been having these conversations with so many people over and over again, right? Where, you know how you're saying the same thing so much that you assume that everybody knows what you've been saying all this time, right? But I actually was interviewing a guy yesterday who's the author of the book that I did that copy from. His book is called Release Your Brilliance. And his name is Simon T. Bailey. Amazing book. He has a book called Release Your Brilliance. And then his second book is called Shift Your Brilliance. And what it talks about is identifying what your universal message is to the world. Like, what is your, what were you born to do, pretty much? How do you connect with that message? How do you connect with that voice? And I feel like in our industry, a lot of us have gotten lost. You know, we've gotten very drawn to the nice, shiny idea of making a lot of money doing nothing. And it's almost as if it's stifled any level of vision or ambition that we've had. It's just like, oh, just follow the leader, just click this button and sell this headline, and everybody will be running to you, and they'll want to spend tons of money with you. And we've lost our own voice. And so when I look at where this industry is right now, you know, you have to make a shift every 3 to 5 years. There's going to be a shift in the economy. There's a shift, you know, in every aspect of life every 3 to 5 years. And you might find that in your career, right? By your 3rd year, you're starting to get a little bored, and then you're like, yeah, I want to add something to it or do something different. But most people feel a desire to shift every 3 to 5 years. And our industry is shifting. Things have changed. We have you know, what used to work when I got online, and Amy, you started with me, you know, way back when, 2009, 2010, right?
Yeah.
And what worked then doesn't work now. But what's happening is that there's so many people taking 2010 strategies and trying to implement them to a 2014 audience. And that doesn't work because our audience is very sophisticated, they're very knowledgeable, they're very smart, they read up on information, they're very aware, they're very intuitive, and they're looking for authenticity. And what's the trend now is authenticity. Is how authentic can you be with who you are and be able to captivate people by speaking your truth. You know, even in business. I actually did a training last night for a group that I'm coaching, and I talked about understanding the power of your intuition and understanding the power of your challenges and problems that you face, and realizing that the things that frustrate you and piss you off, if you start digging for solutions for those things and you start really thinking about a way to figure out how to overcome them. So let's just say all of you are marketers, right? Obviously, you're all marketers and you're all a part of Empower Network or whatever company you are with. But there's a little glitch that you see that will make life so much easier. Somebody just did this thing, right? I don't know what it is, but it might be something that you've been looking for as a resource that you can't seem to find. And it might piss you off like, man, why doesn't somebody just make this thing? Or it would be so nice if Empower just did this and did that and switched this up and switched that up. And you're thinking everybody else should fix this glitch, but in actuality, that glitch is your message, right? It's the obstacle that becomes your opportunity. It becomes that voice where you can share with people what the frustration is and say, here's what I discovered is a solution. Everything about what we do in business is about identifying people's pain points, their challenges, their frustrations, and giving them a solution. It's not about you. It's not about your deal. It's not about you signing people up. It's not about how much money you want to make. It's not about you wanting to be on stage. It's not about how big you want your check to be. Nobody cares about that. What they care about is, I have some struggles and some challenges. I have some problems and concerns, and I'm trying to find somebody who can sincerely help me, authentically help me find a solution for it. Or they have the solution. And then I'll give them the money, right? That's it. It's how can you convey to them that you understand their pains, that you can relate to their pains, but you found a solution to their pains. And that's what business is, and that's what marketing is essentially. But for some reason, we've gotten to a place where it's like all these big promises and all these guarantees, and it really is evoking something to an audience who that's not really what they're looking for, but they'll take it if you sell it to them. And then what happens is you place this huge expectation of accomplishment in people's laps, and you promise them this stuff, and when you don't get it fast enough, then now they badmouth what you said you were going to give them that they never got. And the truth is, guys, you know, I've been in this industry for, in online marketing since 2008, and of all these years that I've been in business, although I've been through multiple different business opportunities from network marketing companies to internet marketing systems, The one thing that I can say that has been my win-win to building businesses and making the kind of money that I've earned is caring enough about my audience to the point where I talk to them as if it's me a couple months ago. And I'm very transparent with them. And I'm sharing with them what I'm discovering. I'm sharing with them, the things that I've experienced that are frustrations in the business, or things that I've experienced that are highlights of. I'm very conversational with my audience to the point where they feel like they know me and they feel like they can trust me, which is the key to business, right? Is know, like, and trust. And I feel like that in and of itself, has been the gateway to allowing me to glide into the success, because to be honest, I'm not a master marketer, right? I don't get 50,000 leads a day. My list is still to this day, I just crossed the 13,000 mark, right? So you're talking 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, you're talking 7 years. I only got a list of 13,000 people. But the irony of that is I have a social media following of 30,000 people, right? I have a YouTube following of over 10,000 people alone. And that's where people come to connect, and they come to build a relationship, and they come to listen to what it is that I have to say. And that has built that trust where they're going to click my link, right? They're going to join my business. They're going to spend money with me because they feel like I know Nicole and I can trust Nicole. And no matter, what all these other people say, I feel like Nicole is going to give me the honest truth, and she's not going to misguide me. Now, does that mean everybody wins? No, right? But it's knowing that you're putting something out there in the marketplace that is of value, that if you can talk to who you were 6 months ago, when you were frustrated, struggling, you hit a wall, and you were trying to figure out, how do I get over this wall? If you started talking to yourself and who you were 6 months ago, all the time, or 3 months ago, or even yesterday, right? You may have spent all day on the internet trying to figure something out, and you figured it out. And today, you become a problem solver to somebody who's trying to figure it out today. If you do that, guys, you will not just get signups. You will not just recruit people. You will not just earn a paycheck. You will build a tribe. You will build a community. You will build a level of loyalty that you will have so many people pretty much promoting you. They become your fans, right? They become the influencers who talk about you to other people. They start selling your services. Even if they don't want to join your deal, they might come across people who are looking for a deal to join, and they're going to go and talk about, well, you know what? I've been following Amy Starr Allen for so long, and she's always honest, and she's amazing. I'm not interested because that's just not my lane, but I think that she's a great person for you to connect with. You will be surprised how people will deliver folks to your door, even if they don't do business with you, because you have done so much for them personally just by building a relationship with them through what you teach, through what you share, and through how you educate them. And one of the ladies that I interviewed today for my podcast, she's a coach. She teaches people how to pretty much build out six-figure businesses, no matter what they do, freelancers, whatever. And one of the things that we were talking about was that there's 4 phases to business. There is the visibility phase, the credibility phase, the profitability phase, and the sustainability phase. All right? Visibility is building a presence and getting people aware of what you do. The credibility phase is showing people that you know what you're doing. The profitability phase is converting them to buy into what you're doing, right? But we were talking about the credibility phase, where it's the marketing piece, the self-promotion, the raving out there about what you do. Many of us are not really sure how to promote or how to market, right? We get caught up promoting. Join my deal, join my business. Here's how such and such made all this money. And we throw these messages out there, but they're totally disconnected to who we are. And the truth about marketing and the truth about your real estate in social media, from Facebook to YouTube to Instagram to Twitter to LinkedIn, all that stuff is real estate. That is your platform to educate. Your selling is going to come from your educating. If you can't educate people about who you are, what you do, how you can help them, they're not going to buy crap from you. They're not going to invest anything with you. They have no interest in you. They don't care what you've accomplished. I've discovered that even, I had the pleasure multiple times. I still have them sitting behind my couch in my reading room, getting the big checks, right? showing people, hey, I've made 100,000 here, 200,000 there, 300, and that stuff is great. When I put that out there, nobody responds. They watch, but very few people say anything. Because although it looks good from my point of view to say that this is what I've done, it's detached from their personal ambition at that moment. You know, it's not necessarily a goal in sight to get that level of income. Most of these people may just want an extra 500 a month, an extra 1,000 or two, but the average person just wants to make an extra $500 a month, right? So they're more concerned with me sharing with them how I've learned to create my messaging and saying, here's some simple steps that I took that brought you the extra $500 a month into my household. I will get way more responses from that than here's what I've done to get over $500,000 into my household in the past, you know, whatever. People respond to practicality, and they also respond to things that they feel that they can relate to that is tangible for them. And so your conversations, guys, should not be about you. It should not be about just what you've accomplished. It should be about educating your audience and always looking at it. I had a guy say to me the other day, he said, Nicole, I don't get you. He was like, because I don't see you pushing or promoting the company much, but you're always on the leaderboards and you make all these big checks. I don't get it. And I said, well, here's my secret. I don't push opportunities, right? I build relationships with people to access what their desires are and what their vision is. And I get people to think about what they want. And then I show them the resources that I've discovered that can potentially help them get what they want. I don't push opportunities because opportunities is not for everybody. And there's 4 steps to really, like there's 4 processes in decision making in life. The first is having a vision. The second is a goal. The third is setting up milestones. The fourth is opportunity, right? Your decision making initially should come from vision, not from opportunity. If you don't have a vision and you haven't set goals and milestones in your life and you just always seek opportunities, you won't have a gauge. If you don't have a vision, you don't have a gauge to identify if the decision that I'm making to join this opportunity is a good fit for where I'm going, right? It's, oh, I'm a 300-pound man, you know, who's very burly and very into sports and athletics, but somebody's telling me that I would do very good if I sold makeup. Well, he probably could do good, but it's not a good fit because he's more into sports and being a man's man than being into makeup, right? So, you know, a company like a Mary Kay or Avon may not cater to that guy, whereas if there was a opportunity that was built around, I forgot what they call that, where you invest in the sports. What is it that you make up your own team? What do they call that, Amy?
Oh, fantasy?
Yeah.
Fantasy stuff?
Bring in an MLM company that is catered around fantasy football, and that's his gig. That'll be in alignment with what he loves, right? What he enjoys doing. But it's knowing that people have to have a vision first to make sure they're selecting the right opportunities. And I tend to try to get people to connect with the vision before they even join my opportunity because I don't want them to join my opportunity with false expectations of an outcome. And so if I can probe people to think about what they want and think about what they desire to accomplish, I'm taking the responsibility and the power from me changing their life to in their hands realizing you have to make the decisions that will bring forth change. And I'm going to be a guide to show you, you know, if you choose to come this way, I'll show you how you can leverage these tools and resources to experience change. So, I mean, I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking, but it's just giving you guys a little bit of insight about, you know, just where we are in this industry and understanding that it's not about you. It's not about you. And I mean, of course, you want to have goals. You want to have a vision. You want to have milestones and things that you want to accomplish. But at the end of the day, as a marketer, right, and becoming a professional marketer, your goal is to identify what the key problems are that you are solving, and you discover that by identifying what problems have you solved in your own life over the past couple of months. What were key issues that you were unaware of 6 months ago that today is like voila, you know? I was even talking to a guy yesterday, the guy that I was doing an interview with, Simon T. Bailey, and I said, you know, it's amazing how many people don't even know the conversation exists about living a life that you love, right? Discovering that you have a gift in the world. A lot of people don't even know they have a gift, right? They don't even know they have a purpose in the world. There's so many people who are clueless about that, but because you've been planted in this environment, your eyes have been opened up, and you're around so many people having the same conversation that the assumption becomes, oh, everybody knows about this. Well, you didn't even know about it 6 months ago, so let's start talking about what you've discovered in 6 months. Now you're giving people incentives to want to buy into the community, want to connect with the network and get access to the information and get on the calls that you're getting and buy the trainings that you're buying. I mean, what better salesperson could there be than you sharing what transformations happened in your life as a result of being connected to our products, our services, our community, and our people? So, you know, I said a lot there, but I'm just wanting to throw that, you know, it's just a lot of in my head from all these conversations and trainings and stuff that I've been doing nonstop. But it just all boils down to that, you know, the combinations of that I just said. There's a lot of that I just said.
So awesome. I just took like 3 pages of notes just there. You saw me writing ferociously. You're just such a wealth of knowledge and wisdom, Nicole. It's awesome. And this is a whole other tangent from some of the stuff that you talked about in Charlotte too. So it's just combining more to the same conversation, which I love. You know, one of the things, if you could maybe touch on it a little bit, that you did talk about in Charlotte was, well, you know, first of all, I agree with what you just said. The best way to create a 6-figure career as a marketer is to provide value and create a following and become somebody that people can trust. And we don't do that by plastering links all over social media and not, you know, and just, you know, that's just not how it happens. And social media is an awesome platform. I love what I wrote something down. You said social media is your platform to educate. I love that because lately I've been feeling like people think it's their platform to spam continuously, and it's just getting really like out of control, I feel like, and so I love that, and that's why, and I love how you talked about how, you know, that's why Nicole has glided into success, as she said, where people not even understanding how she's doing it because they don't see her spamming links all over the internet, because she's doing it in a different way. She's doing it because she's building a long-term career. She's built a long-term career for herself with staying power instead of just going after a fast buck. And one of the things that you talked about in Charlotte, Nicole, was about like why people are stuck and how you know, most people approach, they come online and they need money right now, so they join something, and if they don't make money right away, they quit, and then in 3 to 6 months from now, they still need money. And then the other approach is, okay, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm gonna create a long-term 6-figure career for myself. So you take that path, which is to learn a skill. And you know, if you're in Empower Network, Nicole's referred to it as Internet Marketing University. There's so many different skills that you can learn inside of our products and that you can master. And I know I talk to my team a lot. I don't know about you, Nicole, but I talk to my team a lot about focusing on one thing until you master it, and then learning another skill. But I feel like so many people are all over the place. They start doing one thing because they see somebody else having success in it, and then they don't get results in a week, so they go off and start trying to do something else because they see Joe Schmo over here getting success doing that, and the next thing you know, they're just chasing people around. They're not spending any time actually learning a skill and becoming a master at anything, and then they end up not having the success that they want. And so the other approach to, you know, that you talked about in Charlotte was that, you know, you learn a skill. In 3 to 6 months from now, you're earning money consistently. In 12 months from now, you're the guru in that area, and now you've got a 6-figure career. So I don't know if there's anything else that you want to talk about around that, but I love how you had a beautiful graphic and everything that you kind of laid it all out on and everything, and it's simplified the whole process. I mean, it's really like you're either doing it this way or you're doing it this way. And I feel like lately I see more and more people, even people on my team, you know, like I was sharing with you earlier, Nicole, I see people like they try something for a week, and the next thing I know, I see them promoting something else, and they're not actually like learning, becoming a master at anything. They're just out there promoting things. So
yeah, you know, well, here's the importance of messaging, right? And I feel like that's the curse of our industry, is that we lead with money. And when you lead with money, you attract people who tend to be desperate for it, right? It's like if you turn on a light, a porch light, in the midst of a dark wooded area, you'll immediately be swarmed with flies, right? And that's because if everywhere else is dark, this is the only light. And if you go out into a marketplace of people and you promote the message of, hey, I'm going to show you how to get rich very fast, then what you're going to do is you get the attention of all the people who are broke, be like, rich, oh, I'm going with you, and you become the light that all the flies swarm to. And what happens is these are the people who have short attention spans because they're moved out of desperation. And I tell people we function out of one of two emotions, either inspiration or desperation. If you're focusing out of inspiration, you're connected to a vision of an end result that you see, right? So it might be, for example, for me, I didn't know this was a guide for me, but I've always wanted to be a speaker since I was in college. I didn't realize that internet marketing would be a platform, but entrepreneurship was a really big deal for me. Like, I loved working for myself, never really had a job before. And so when real estate collapsed for me, my focus was, I need to get connected to a skill set that's going to make me the same kind of money that real estate made me. And when I got online and started Googling stuff and saw all these different lead capture pages popping up with, I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what a lead capture page was. I just, back then in 2008, pop-ups were the business, right? Every website you went to, there'd be 50 pop-ups that popped up in your face and all these offers and stuff like that. And being that I've grown to love business, I've always understood the concept of sales and marketing and things. I just understood it. And so I didn't get offended by the offers. I researched the offers. And I was like, let me see what these people are doing, because if I can figure out how they're popping up, how does this pop-up happen? You know, then when I went to their website, I would click a button on the pop-up, it would lead me to a website. And then you get to the website, and then an audio voice would come up. And I was intrigued. And so I saw dollar signs. Now, I heard them talk about the money that could be made, but I saw the process that these people were setting up on automation, and I said, well, shoot, I don't know if what they're offering will make me money, but if I can figure out how Joe Blow just found me from a pop-up by putting something in the search bar, and then that pop-up led me to a website, if I can do what Joe Blow is doing, then I can be rich like Joe Blow, and I don't even have to join Joe Blow's company. Right? So I saw the vision of this process. How did he get to do this? And my vision led me to figure everything out, because I knew that I needed a skill set. I needed to identify how to master this process of getting my what I didn't know what I would offer. I didn't understand all the details. I just knew I wanted to discover this process. So that was moved by inspiration. I was inspired by the process. The reality is, if I was moved by desperation, which at that point in time I was broke, homeless, on welfare, living in somebody's spare bedroom on a 40-year-old pull-out couch, and I was pregnant with a baby on the way, and my husband and I only had about $200 a month coming into our I can't say household. We didn't have a house, but we had, that's all we had access to every single month. If I would have let the money be the driver, I would have just sought after ways to hurry up and get income in my household. And what I discovered was this, guys. I became a student of learning how internet works, but I took what I learned and offered it as a service to make the money, right? So now that I was still trying to learn this process for myself, I said, well, if I can learn this process and then go offer a service to help other people do it until I can afford to do it on my own, then I'll be able to sustain some income, and that's what I did. I started learning about blogging and article marketing and things like that. And because of following this inspiration, this vision of accomplishing this thing and mastering the skill set, it opened up the doors to now start generating supplementary income. And it would be like $100 here. I would write articles. I would charge people $200 to develop websites. I would manage their social media accounts, which were MySpace at the time was a big deal, and Ning was a big deal back then, and doing all these things. And as a result, when you are moved by inspiration, guys, you get creative, and that creativity helps to help you discover how to get cash coming in. But when you're moved by desperation, which most of these people are, all they can think about is, I have $500 worth of bills that's due by Friday. Today is Wednesday. So, Amy, I'm willing to join your deal, but how fast can I get that $500 because I need it by Friday, right? And Amy might say, you know what? I can't promise you that you're going to get $500 by Friday, but here's what this system does. Well, the person doesn't hear about what the system does. They just trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to do by Friday, $500. And then Friday comes, no $500 is there. All they did was invest $25. They didn't do the math. That 25 divided by 500 is what, 25, right? Is that 25 or 20? 20. 25 going into 500, I think is 20, right? You got to make 20 sales in 2 days pretty much, because you get in on Wednesday. You got to make 20 sales. Don't forget about the up, the pass up strategy and all that stuff. So you may have to make about 30 sales or 26 sales or 27 sales, whatever it is, in 2 days. Is that even rationally possible? Well, the desperation moves any sense of rationale because you're moved just by that one goal of 500 by Friday. And when we make a message that leads with the money, you attract all those 500 by Friday people who only got $25 and they had to borrow the $25 from Joe Blow so that they can get access to this business. And now they're going from deal to deal to deal to deal because they have no vision and they're not inspired. And so for me, when it comes down to the skill set in the process, right, the messaging is important, right? It's understanding, for example, Empower Network is Internet Marketing University. How would you like to develop the skills that will allow you to create a 6-figure income within the next 12 to 18 months, right? If my messaging is leading like that, now I can show people this pathway where you can get involved, you can learn this skill, you can position yourself where you can master this concept of something, and then in 6 months, in 12 months, you're going to be the guru over what lead capture pages are, how email marketing works, how sales funnels work, what copywriting is. And you can turn that around into some instant cash because so few people understand what a sales funnel is, what a lead capture page is. They don't know about lead pages. They don't know about WordPress and the simplicity of pressing a few buttons and building out these templates. And so you can become the education platform. Not to mention, y'all, you can take this information and go offline. You can go right now on Meetup, and you can do meetups every week on how to make money blogging or how to build a business using a blog, whatever, and charge $25 for it. But you got to know that information so that when you stand in front of the people, when they give you the $25, you're delivering something to them. And that's why skill set is so important. See, if you don't have a skill and you're going from business to business to business, it's because you can't deliver anything to anybody that makes them want to give you any money. So that's why you need that whole process. So I hope that makes it understandable for them. I have the PowerPoint, but I delete it.
Well, I actually have some of it written down, some of my notes, like, so these skill sets that Nicole's talking about, and I love how you already touched on this because you're the one that taught me this in the beginning, was when you were coaching me. I signed up for one of your coaching programs back when I first got started, and one of the things that you told me then, and this was before we had Empower Network, this is before we had this gateway to like all of these different skill sets right in a back office. Like this is back when anytime I wanted to learn something, I had to get on an airplane and fly to an event and take pages and pages and pages of notes and pay for a hotel and then come home and try to remember how to implement everything that I learned. And that's how I learned everything that I knew. Now we have it all in one place. And so there's different skills that we can learn inside of Empower Network. And like I said, before we even had Empower Network, one of the recommendations that Nicole gave me when I was in that coaching program was learn some skills and go make some money using those skills. And so I started posting um, ads on Craigslist. Like I learned how to set up a WordPress blog. So I posted ads on Craigslist to offer that as a service for businesses that needed a WordPress blog. I offered to create Facebook banners for people and just different things like that. And I made up prices for these different services. And just like Nicole said, it was $100 here, you know, $500 there, whatever. I managed a couple people's newsletters for a little while because I understood how to work Aweber. So as I started to learn these skills, I was a single mother. I wanted to be home with my kids. I didn't want to go back to a job, and I hadn't figured out how to make a full-time income just doing internet marketing on my own yet. But as I was learning the skills, I was posting ads on Craigslist, and people were paying me to do these skills. And as I did it for them, I was able to make enough money to stay home with my kids, and I became even better at what I was doing. So I got faster at every one of these skills, and so I could make way more money in way less time. I ended up like doubling my prices because I knew that an hour of my time was worth way more than it used to be. And eventually I was able to make a pretty good income just providing trading hours for dollars and providing services for people. But the other thing that happened as I did that was I was able to hone in on these skills and apply them for myself in my own marketing and create another huge stream of income over here inside of Empower Network. So some of the skills, just, you know, in case if you're in Empower Network and you own the 15K formula and you've gone through it, you know that there's training in there on pretty much everything, any skill, any type of marketing that you could possibly want to learn. But just to give you some ideas, if you're not in Empower, you haven't seen the products, or you don't own the 15K formula, some of the things that you can learn inside of Empower Network are SEO, traffic building, email marketing, blogging, content management, SEO, media marketing. You can integrate offline marketing. I think there's still training in there on magazine ads and, you know, voice broadcasting, stuff like that. Video marketing, solo ads. So there's all kinds of different skills that you can learn, and that's not even a complete list. But inside of this Internet Marketing University, and so as Nicole just so beautifully laid out, you can see that not only can you hone in on whatever it is that speaks to you and become an expert at it, but you can also help a lot of other people along the way. These are the missing skills that a lot of businesses have. Like there might be a restaurant and they're really good at being, you know, cooking food and serving their customers, but they have no idea how to do social media. So you can offer your services to this restaurant to help them get more exposure on the internet, because they don't have the time to learn that stuff. They have no interest in learning that. You can charge a fee, and people are actually looking for this. And you can, you know, you can create money to help subsidize your marketing costs and to, you know, help you, you know, with other streams of income while making a significant difference for people. Again, you know, the best way to create a following and to create a long-term six-figure career on the internet with staying power is to make a difference, provide value. And this is one way that you can do that. And while at the same time you can be creating another stream of income just for yourself, applying the things that you're learning in your own marketing. So I think it's such a valuable thing. And one of the other things that I've written down from your training, Nicole, is one of the way, you know, I think one of the biggest pitfalls that I see people have is that they come in, or say they want to do internet marketing, and let's say they do join Empower Network and they go through the training, and you did such a beautiful job of breaking this down in Charlotte, where people come in and they go through that whole 15K formula product, and their head feels like it's going to explode, and they don't know where to start, and they start trying to implement all these different things at once, and they don't get any real results in anything. And really what it comes down to is we're not all the same. We're not all going to be good at, you know, some people are more analytical and some people are more social, and there's lots of different types of personalities. And so what you're going to be good at is going to depend on your specific talents and your specific interests and your gifts, like Nicole talked about earlier. And so, you know, if you're, like for me, I don't like analytical stuff. Like if you wanted me to sit there and like do all this split testing, capture, you know, like looking at analytics and doing all this crazy stuff, it gives me a headache. I have no interest. I would not want to get out of bed in the morning if that's what I knew I had to do on a daily basis. But take somebody else that's more analytical, like I think you used Adam Holland as an example in Charlotte, which is a perfect example. super analytical. Like that's his strong suit. So for him, like that's kind of stuff excites him. So that's something that, you know, is good for him. For me, I would rather just sit in front of a video camera and talk and create content and be creative. I'm more of a creative person. So what it really comes down to is knowing who you are. You had this little list I wrote down. Knowing who you are, understanding how you think, knowing what drives you, understanding your strengths, focusing on what works for you versus doing what everyone else is doing, which I love that one, because that's what we talked about before. We're always thinking that we have to do it. This person's successful doing this, so I have to do that. But that's not what it's about. It's focusing on what works for you, depending on your personality type and your passion. And then leveraging this to take proper action. And the proper action being, you know, whatever one of those skill sets it is that is something that you want to become the expert at and that you can be passionate about. So anything else you want to add to that, Nicole?
Yeah, I think it's very important because in the beginning, you're starting off, and there's like this hierarchy. It's in Frank Kern's book, Convert. This book is phenomenal, somewhere around here. It's a $5 book. It's called Convert by Frank Kern. $5 and I think 83 cents for shipping. Let me see if I can find it. But he has this chain set up, right? I don't know if you'll be able to see it. But he has like this little diagram. And it's set up where it shows you the process of how you build wealth and make a lot of money. And the bottom piece is being a generalist. The second step up is a specialist. The third step up is being an authority. The fourth step up is being a celebrity. And then the top lane is celebrity authority, right? So he talks about the generalist is the person who, they are the jack of all trades. I can just do it all, right? They're the lowest paid people. But to get to making more money, you want to go from being a jack of all trades to a specialist of one thing, right? Or a few things. And then you work your way up. You master that, and then you become the authority. What we shared in Charlotte was understanding your personality type and where you thrive, right? And what you do well. Because when you're just getting started in internet marketing, you're introduced to everything, right? You're introduced to PPC, keyword research, article marketing, blog. I mean, it's just, goodness gracious. The chart that I showed everybody in Charlotte, we all were overwhelmed just looking at the chart, right? Because it's so many things, SEO, and it's just all these acronyms and too much, right? But what you have to find over time, and this is where intuitiveness comes into play. I believe in being an intuitive entrepreneur, where you listen to what your gut is telling you. There's a time where you start identifying, well, that may work for Amy, but I'm drawn more towards this. And you start pinpointing what gives you more joy and excitement to get involved with. So like Amy said, I'm like Amy. I crank on, I shoot videos in a heartbeat. Hey guys, and that's how I made all my money over here. Hey guys, Nicole Cooper here, doing a video right now with Amy, right? I'll stick this up on YouTube. But I found myself trying to follow the big boys and invest money in paid marketing. And I would hire people, lose thousands of dollars. I would go get paid campaigns and put all this money into paid marketing. Didn't know what in the heck I was doing. I would buy all the training products and all those different things. But the reason why paid strategies didn't work for me is because I'm a blue personality, which is an outgoing, communicative, very bubbly, on the forefront kind of person, where with paid marketing, it's all numbers. It's a numbers game. It's strategy. It's testing. It's understanding conversions very well and percentages and blah, blah. That's just way out of my lane. And so what I had to do was stop trying to follow the big boys who were getting the big numbers and stay in my lane, because I noticed that because I did well on video, even though I may only get 5 new leads a day, where the guy next to me may get 500 leads a day, I got 5 free leads from people who watched my videos, who loved what they heard, and made them want to come hear more, and they convert. Whereas the guy might be spending 500, he might get 500 leads a day that he just spent $5,000 on, but he has to beg and prod to get one person converted. But he's good at numbers, he's good at statistics, and he does well. It's knowing where your skill set is, guys, and knowing what gets you excited versus what overwhelms you and freaks you out. And I had to start listening to that with myself. If you start finding yourself fluttering and overwhelmed and you're like, doesn't mean there's not a learning curve, right? But paying attention to something that you know you can just, hey, I'll do a video in a heartbeat and I'll be productive today because I've gotten that done. versus the person who doesn't like video. And I love to write. I'll do 5 blogs in one day. I'm good at that. But I sweat bullets trying to shoot one video, right? Or the person who, listen, I'm a hermit. I'm an introvert. I don't like dealing with people. I'm not a social media person. And this is usually guys, right, where they want to get quick results, right? They want to just put their money out there and convert it into business and do that, where they might be good at paid marketing. You got to know where you got to go from the general market where you get access to see all these different things to looking for people who you want to model your business after, right? I tell people, don't try to be someone else, but you can try to model the accomplishments of what someone has done. You look and find people who have accomplished something that you find an attribute about them that you love. And there was a girl by the name of Marie Forleo. When I saw Marie, I saw me. She's just bubbly on camera, her personality, she cracks jokes. I'm like, I love Marie because I love that she allows her personality to shine. That lets me know I love Marie because she's on video. I love video. I just want to learn how to be more bubbly and more of myself, right? So start looking to see who are those people who you admire them. And what is it that you admire about them? Don't try to be them because you want to invoke your own personality, but you want to pick apart what is it about them that you like and identify what is the skill set that they have that you want to model yourself after. So you guys want to go take this test. The test is still up there to this day where you can understand what your personality type is. It's and the website address is Bud URL, and I can put it in this Next Level Hangout comment section. It's HTTP Bud URL. Don't do www.com/en personality. And so I'm posting it now. All right. So that's where you can go and take this test, and it will give you an opportunity to see what color you are, and that will help you to start learning more about your personality type. When you learn more about your personality type, it frees you up, guys, to be you and stop trying to be all of the personalities, because we all have a distinguished personality.
Yeah, I love what you said about you know, modeling after somebody. I love Marie Forleo too. She's a Jersey girl, just like me. But you know, I love, my kids are really into Katy Perry, and we've watched her documentary a couple times. And what I love about her is, I mean, talk about being yourself. And one of the things that I love that documentary because when she first got started, she got her first record deal, and the record company said, we want you to be the next Adele. Like, you have what it takes to be the next Adele or the next so-and-so. And she's like, I don't want to be the next Adele. I want to be the first Katy Perry. And she lost her record deal because of that, because she didn't want to be put into a box and do things the way that they saw for her. She wanted to have her own voice and do things her own way. And so she lost her record deal, and she ended up going on to become a complete superstar simply because she didn't copy somebody else. She just did, you know, she's done her own thing. And, you know, you may or may not even know who she is, but she's, you know, she's a perfect example of that, and I love that.
My daughter's favorite too, so.
Yeah, we're going to see her in concert next month. I'm so excited.
I wish she would come to Austin. I was going to go to Memphis in October to take my daughter to go see it, but she's not coming to Austin.
Yeah, so, yeah, that'll be fun. But it's just, you know, just a perfect, if you look at the people who have the most success, not just in internet marketing, but in anything, they are the people that have found their own voice. Lady Gaga is another example, you know, of somebody, we've watched her documentary too, very similar kind of thing, where people didn't like her message at first. You know, they wanted her to change things up, and she's like, no, I'm not going to change things up. Like, this is how I want to do it. I want to wear raw meat as a dress or whatever. You know? So I think it's, you know, when you look at the people that are the most successful in anything, they're the people that are authentic, like Nicole was talking about earlier. I mean, that's the best thing that you can market, is authenticity and integrity, and just, you know, speaking your truth and providing value for people, whatever that is for you. And, you know, the personality test is really helpful, because once you know, I mean, you might have an idea, but once you really know, like, what are the kinds of things that that speak to your type of personality, you'll be able to really pick a skill to master that'll be perfect for you to become a guru on the internet with that skill and provide tons of value with your videos or your, you know, Facebook or whatever, whatever you want to do, but to get your message out there in a way that is congruent with who you truly are. One of the things that I said we were going to give you, and we can wrap this up because I know we've been going for an hour now, but in the copy in the email that we sent out, we mentioned your 6-figure career options. One of my favorite things about Nicole's training in Charlotte was how she laid out these options for people to look, a different way to look at yourself, a different way to title yourself and to really step into as a marketer. Because I think a lot of times when people are marketers and people ask you what you do and you don't even know how to answer that. You know, you're just kind of out there copying and pasting emails all over the spamming Facebook or whatever, and you don't really have, you know, a real feel for what it is that you, like, what is your skill? What is your specialty? And so, you know, Nicole broke these down according to personality type, and I don't have them categorized by personality type, but just to give you guys some ideas about different career options that you can step into based on what we've been talking about today, as far as providing value for businesses as well as the skill that you want to focus on to build your own business. Things like online business manager, project manager, social media manager, consultant, speaker, trainer, online business developer, virtual assistant, podcasting personality for those creative types, copywriter, online marketing personality, branding consultant, info product creation, sales funnel expert, paid traffic specialist, lead generation strategy specialist, systems developer, metrics and analytics specialist. I mean, and the list goes on, but that was really eye-opening for me to just really see, like, you get to, it's like you're going to college and you get to pick what your major is going to be, right? And the beautiful thing about this Internet Marketing University that we have inside of Empower Network is it costs way less than a college education, and we can earn while we learn, just like we've been talking about on here, and we can actually go out and with these skills and provide value for businesses that these are, like I said before, the missing skills that businesses are looking for, that they're willing to pay. Businesses are willing to pay a lot of money for things that you don't even realize. Like, my brother has a janitorial business in a ski town, and I built him a website, and he paid me years ago to do that. And anyway, I have this like video software, and I asked him if he wanted me to make a video for the front page of his website, and what would that be worth to him? And he said $1,000. I'm like, $1,000 for a video? It's going to take me like 5 minutes. So you don't realize like how valuable some of these skills are for people, because they just haven't, like, he doesn't know anything about that stuff. He just, you know, to him it's worth $1,000 to have a video on the front page of his website if it's going to present his company better, you know. So people are willing to spend a lot of money on the skills that you are learning. So don't underestimate that. It's, in my opinion, it's worth more than a college degree, because a lot of the stuff that people are learning in college, they come out of college and they can't even get a job. And if they do get a job, it pays like $13 an hour or something. It's not, you know, it takes them forever just to pay back the cost of their education. Where here, we can get all of this education in one place for so much less and go out and start using these skills right away to create a significant income. And all of those things that I just listed off, those are all different things that you can major in. Those are all different things that you can choose to be your area of specialties. And so, you know, I think it's, you know, I love that, because it just really broadens the perspective and shows people you don't have to put yourself in a box. Internet marketer is not one thing, you know, it's all these different things you can choose it to be. So anything else on that, Nick?
No, I think you covered it. I think with all those different titles, it really is. I mean, it's just eye-opening, and I get excited to know that you have all those notes. I had spent all this time like, oh my God, it would be so great if we just did this or did that. So I'm glad that it impacted you to the way that you were just so detailed. I think you just did the whole presentation for everybody. So no, you did good, and I totally agree. I mean, guys, what we learn, the skills that we have, And I feel like we don't understand the value and the worth um, by building out what we've built out in this community. And I just really want to become more of an evangelist to say, hey, don't dilute the value of what we do, but take a look at this diamond that you have in your hand. It may look like a lump of coal right now, but if you just refine it a little bit and shape it back, you'll realize you have a diamond in your hand. So that would be all I want to add. I added a lot today.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, and I took, just on this webinar, I took, like I said, a bunch of pages of notes because, learners are earners. So I'm always learning, and I've learned a lot today, and I know that this has provided value for people because I'm seeing the messages here, and I just really, Nick, if there's any closing thoughts you want to share, we can do that, and then we can wrap it up.
I'll just say I see a lot of people saying they're going to watch the replay. Just watch the replay and take action. What we're sharing today, guys, don't take it for granted. Because to be honest, if we take all this information we just shared with you and packaged it up and sold it to a bunch of small business owners, we could have just earned a good $4.97 per person. And that's another thing. Don't take for granted because you find that our messages are, this environment is so value-ridden, it's so much value around you that people just start tuning it out. Like, I heard that before. But don't implement it. So take action on what we taught, and you'll see a dramatic change in your life.
Yeah, I agree. And that was one of the things that, I realized just, having this hangout today is one of those uncashed checks that they talked about in Charlotte. So many times people sit and watch a training, whether it's at a live event like we were just at, or on a webinar like this. I know a lot of people go from webinar to webinar, and they're like listening to all this information, even taking notes, and then they have notebooks full of notes that they don't do anything with. And I think it was Mike Hobbs talked about, he referred to them to these notes in Charlotte as uncashed checks, because there's just so much information inside of these trainings that if you turn around, like Nicole just said, and implement it, you can have a huge shift in your business today. And I really hope, my intention for holding this hangout was to really help shift something for people that are out there kind of lost in the noise of the internet, just following people around and plastering, copying and pasting and plastering stuff, and losing sight of your own message and your own voice and your own value and your own gifts and your own passions, and that Nicole covered that all so beautifully today, and I really hope that this hangout has been beneficial to really help you grab hold of what we're doing here and how to do it professionally and how to do it in a way that actually makes a difference for people and provides value for the long term, not for the short-term buck in the current deal that you're in, but for the long term. It doesn't matter what Nicole does, yes, she's in Empower Network and she's made a significant income in Empower Network. Income disclosure, results aren't typical because we're not typical and we don't choose to be typical, and it depends on your level of commitment and dedication. But Nicole has earned an incredible amount of money inside of Empower Network, but she's also learned all of these other skills that it doesn't matter if she was in Empower Network or not. She's got a long-term, sustainable, six-figure income because of her other skills as a speaker, as a trainer, as a coach, and whatever other path she's on or decides to go down, because she has worked on herself and become so knowledgeable in her skill sets. And that's what we all have the ability to do here, not just to join a deal and go plaster links all over the place and make a quick buck, because that's not going to create staying power in anything for you. So that was kind of the light that I wanted to shed today. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks everyone for showing up, and we'll leave this replay up right here on this page, so you can send people here to watch the replay. You can promote it as well. If you're in Empower Network, you can just put your !ID equals and your affiliate ID at the end of the link, and send this out for people to watch as well. And if they're, if you're ready, if you're not in Empower Network and you want to get involved in this Internet Marketing University that we've been talking about and find your skill set and study it and become a master of it, you can get started today. There's a button below this video that you can click to get started today, and you'll be getting started with whoever sent you to this webinar today. And we'd love to have you on board and help you create your six-figure career online. So that's all I have. Oh, Sierra just said best hangout ever. Nicole, thank you so much. I'm just so honored to have you here with us today, and I'm gonna start crying, but I just want to thank you, again, for, like I always say to you, it's because of you that I've had, I basically, all of the success that I've had on the internet, I feel like comes back to the fact that you were my mentor in the beginning. You're the person that I followed in the beginning and who coached me in the beginning, and it's because of that that I've chosen to go on the way that I have. And I still remember the things that you and Tracy taught me in the beginning. It's always running in the background. Who's your avatar and all that stuff. It's like, I've never forgotten it. And so I just want to say thank you so much for being such a huge inspiration and an amazing teacher for me, and for being here with us today.
Well, I am so honored. The greatest compliment to any teacher is seeing a successful student. Not well, but honestly, you've done all the work yourself. You've been investing so much money, flying all over the country, sacrificing away from your girls. And so it's just, as I say, when the student is ready, the teacher will arrive. We're just guides. We're tour guides to help each other get to their vision. So I'm honored to be your tour guide.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for having me, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And like she said, listen to the replay, share it with other folks, and leave your comments below. We are reading them, and we appreciate them.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.